Hey guys, what's going on? It is Razgs here, and welcome to episode 14 of the Brexit show. That's right, we have uploaded every single day for 2 weeks now. This series is now 2 weeks old, so please leave a like. I'd like to thank you all for the support recently, and for the debate I had in chat last night. It was a really nice debate, and I hope there can be more of you guys in the future, and all of us are having a nice debate in the group. Well, in the group chat. Why I say group chat? In the comments. So yeah, today I'm in a much better mood than last night. Because last night, after on the back of that vote, obviously we are all down. But my man Boris is being a troll. And before I get in, today's video is about Boris Johnson's extension letter. But before I get into that, I do just want to say something about Boris. So if you didn't know, I joined the Conservatives the day Boris got elected. I'm 17 years old, and obviously since 2010, obviously I was quite young, and since 2010 all I've known is a Boris Johnson government. Well, Boris Johnson? No, a Conservative government. And I've basically been a Conservative since the 2015 general election. So when Boris got elected, I was already thinking of joining as a member, even though Theresa May, I won't say it was a mess, right? I do just want to say that now. I think Theresa May's handling of Brexit was a mess. I think it was because she was too weak to deal with the Remainers in Parliament, but also in her own party, people like Philip Hammond, her Chancellor, who apparently she didn't even like and get on with. And my answer to that would have been, why didn't she get rid of him? But yeah, so I've always been a Conservative, even though as you guys have seen in these shows, I do rant a bit about the Conservatives, and about Boris I have on a bad day ranted about him. But I am a Conservative, and while I don't agree with Boris still, I back it and I want to see it get through. And I have got a little message for Nigel Farage. I do just want to start off and basically say I respect him, and I do like Nigel Farage, and he has shooken up politics, and if it wasn't for him, we'd have a Theresa May government still. And obviously, like I said, I do thank him for everything he's done, but I can't help it. I stand with Boris. I have full faith in what he is doing. But Nigel Farage needs to back off, and he does need to support Boris, because every 2 minutes it's just Nigel slagging off Boris in the deal. And when you see him saying stuff in the media about if the Conservatives go on a WTO promise and here do a deal with him, I'm sorry, that's fantasy land. Every single person with a functioning brain knows that the Conservatives were never going to go on a WTO exit promise and basically become Brexit Party version 2. Alright? That is my personal opinion. Obviously, there might be someone out there thinking otherwise, but I honestly believe all sensible people know or knew that the Conservatives went. Why does my door keep opening and shutting and no one's upstairs with me? For God's sake. Anyway, everyone knew that Boris and the Conservatives were never going to go on a no-deal promise. Boris said it from the start that we will go with or without a deal on October 31st, and he's got a deal. Not what I see as the best kind of deal, but it's a deal I can get behind. Now, obviously, I don't want to talk too much about the shenanigans in Parliament yesterday, because, as you guys know from last night's episode of Brexit Show, I'm releasing this one a bit early today, because I actually want to enjoy today, and not, be thinking what I'm going to talk about in the Brexit show later on this evening. So, yes, Boris is a bit of a troll. He's wounded up a few Remainers, and I find this pretty funny. So Boris complied with the law like he promised he would. He said he would, and he complied with the law, and he sent the letter that Parliament or the Remainers wrote for him to send to Donald Tusk to seek an extension. He didn't sign it. There's a cover note. Who was it by? I'm sorry, I forgot his bloody name. There was 3 letters. There was the letter that Boris had to send. There was the cover note from that's it, Sir Tim Barrow, and then there was the third, a letter signed by the PM, arguing that the further delay was a mistake. Now, a Remainer, including Joanna Cherry, who, if you don't know, is an MP for the SNP, she wasn't happy. she really wasn't happy. She was actually quite salty. She tweeted quite a bit of this on Twitter, and one of her tweets was, "This is pathetic. Boris Johnson promised Scottish court he would comply with the Ben Act and not seek to frustrate it. Looks like he's breaking both promises. Fortunately, no need to raise new proceedings. Our existing case is back in court on Monday." Now, has he complied with the Ben Act? Yes. Has he seek to frustrate it? Yeah. But guess what? Stuff you, Parliament, because all you've been doing since the 2016 referendum result is seeking to frustrate that. You've been seeking to frustrate your promise to the British people when you said that you would enact the result and there would be no sort of second referendum or trying to overturn it. You would respect that result. Obviously, at that point, everyone thought Remain was going to win, so you're probably thinking, oh, we can say this, won't come back to bite us on the ass. But because Leave won, you're like, oh, God. And Boris, right, this is the thing that gets me. When you actually see what Remainers hate about Boris, literally, it's because he wants to deliver on the result of the British people. And, you know, if he was a Remainer saying we're going to revoke Article 50 or we're going to go back with second referendum with Remain on the ballot, he would be loved by Remainers. But because all he's literally doing is doing what we, the British people, told him to do, he's now like the enemy. He's like this evil man who deserves to be shot dead. And I'm sorry, Boris has been a breath of fresh air into British politics. I'm sorry, but he has. And this Conservative government, I have 100% faith with. And, you know, this letter, what he's done, he's complied with the law. He sent a cover note by Sir Tim Barrow, and then he sent a third letter basically trying to contradict the first letter and say, look, it's a bad idea and, you know, we don't want this extension. And what's crucial is that he's made the first letter a request from Parliament, and then the third letter a request from the British government. And yeah, I do just want to talk actually on that point about John Bercow. Last night, as we all know, the speaker's meant to be impartial, but throughout this Brexit process, we know that he hasn't been impartial. He's been very anti-Brexit. One case of this is actually pretty funny. Obviously, with the Letwin Amendment, when it came out, straight away it was approved to be voted on, and then Jacob Rees-Mogg said that the government would try again on Monday to get another vote through. And Bercow says, you know, he's just sat there thinking about it and going, oh, I'll have a think about it. So he's not being impartial. If he's allowed the Letwin Amendment, he's just got to let the meaningful vote go through. But last night in Parliament, Bercow didn't rule out himself sending the letter, which, need I say any more? I'm sorry, is he allowed to do that? The sooner he's out, I mean, we've got 11 days left of Bercow and he will be gone. Thank God. I'm going to have like the biggest party ever. But yeah, so roundup of today. Boris is an absolute legend. Nigel, please just back Boris and back the Brexit deal. I mean, the Conservatives, like I said, we're never going to go on a no-deal basis, and a WTO promise. Even in their manifesto, it's always going to be, if there's a general election, it was always going to be on a deal. It was never going to be, we're not going to do any further negotiation. It was always going to be on a deal. And while I'm not against even a no deal, I don't mind if we left. I wouldn't actually mind if we left with no deal. But again, I wouldn't mind if we left with Boris's deal. One thing that I have no respect for in time for is a loser's vote, revoking, and more delay. I mean, honestly, if there is a delay, I will not hold it against Boris in any means. I hold it against his Parliament, which I genuinely despise. I don't like any member of this Parliament apart from, you know, the 20 members, people like Caroline Flint and Katie Hoey on the Labour Party. I have complete time for, complete respect for. And then most Conservatives, apart from obviously the 21 expelled and Amber Rudd, who left on her own accord, Theresa May, before I go, I do want to say a bit on her. Her speech yesterday was absolutely superb, and it's sad because why didn't she show that when she was Prime Minister? And I think Theresa May's first mistake, honestly, was surrounding herself with Remainers. I genuinely believe, and I did say this on Twitter, I genuinely believe she wanted to deliver Brexit. And if anyone doesn't agree with me, I'd like to hear your comments on this. But I genuinely believe Theresa May wanted to deliver Brexit. It was just she was too weak to deal with the Remainers in her own party and in Parliament. And like I said, that on the internet I've read a few articles where they talk about Philip Hammond, and Theresa May didn't get along with Philip Hammond, and apparently she didn't like how he was slowing down the Brexit process and wasn't properly preparing for no deal and stuff like that. Like, why didn't she get rid of him? Stuff like that. Because I mean, for the first year, I loved Theresa May, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I genuinely liked Theresa May in her first year in her premiership. I thought she was a breath of fresh air, a bit like Boris. She showed energy, compassion, fire, and then when it got into the proper home stretch of the Brexit negotiations, like I'd say from probably... See, people say from the general election, I kind of agree with that, but I would say... Personally, I would say it's probably the end of last year when it was really bad, and you could see that she basically lost it. That's when I was anti Theresa May, and from the start, see, I might need to shut my window because that's probably why my door's blowing back and forth. From the start, I was one of the few and one of the first to be campaigning for Jacob Rees-Mogg to be our Prime Minister. And I'm really upset as well that there's a Mogmentum account, because I'd be making a Jacob Rees-Mogg account right now because I have so much. I like Boris, so I wouldn't want Boris to go now, but when Boris goes, 100% I'd want Jacob Rees-Mogg there. And to be honest, I wanted Jacob Rees-Mogg to replace Theresa May in December when he was like the man behind the motion of no confidence in her. But anyway, that is it for this video today, guys, of the Brexit show. The 2 week birthday of the Brexit show, and obviously we've uploaded this every day, 14 days in a row, which yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I might kind of start taking a break soon, just because, you know, Brexit talk can be stressful. I probably won't, because I do genuinely enjoy sitting down and just talking about my views and just sitting there and talking about what I think about the current situation going on with Brexit. But yeah, if you guys enjoy it, please leave a like, please do subscribe, and leave down below your views on the extension, Theresa May, and just your views on what's gone on so far. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.